Good morning, Misfits! It is Woke Wednesday, my second favorite day of the week. And yes, we did have some technical difficulties in the chat. So, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Good morning, LFA family. P Year Out, Fun Mon, Eileen Jimenez, Ms. Mocha Powered, Parrot Mom, Bumba. I got a message about Bumba. They were like, I think your daughter maybe was like, I think my mom watches you. She loves the shout out, so Bumba gets an extra shout out today. Okie dokie. Yes, technical difficulties. So here's what happened. Um, I would I so I do my show in the mornings because I'm super busy and I have another job. I have a lot of things going on. So I'm like, okay, I wake up usually at around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and I do my show prep, and then I send in the thumbnail. And apparently, you're not supposed to you're not supposed to request Batman. All right, I didn't realize that. I was gonna do a Batman thumbnail, and apparently, like there's some DC being a jerk about AI recreating Batman. So we at the very last minute, Eli, who's awesome, he was able to he messaged me and he goes, can we do something different? So I'm sitting there thinking and thinking and thinking, and I'm like, okay, I'll try something. And we did get it done, but we got it done like right at the last minute. And then I look at the screen and I go, oh, you have to put in codes in order to stream live every morning. You have to change the codes, and that slipped my mind. But I fixed it really quick. We're good. I made you guys wait an extra minute. It's good. It's worth it. The wait is worth it. All right. Because here's the thumbnail. Half woke is still woke. Okay. It is. We're gonna do a bit of calling out today. All right, we did a little bit at the end of yesterday. We're gonna pick up where we left off. All right, and some of you aren't gonna like this one, I don't think. All right, and when I clip this one, even more people aren't gonna like it. All right, because this is more calling out your own side. But I'm assuming that people are gonna disagree with me on whether or not this is call out worthy. So I will make my case. I'm usually right. In fact, I have waited too long in the past to call people out, like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens. I've waited too long to call out Megyn Kelly. I waited too long to call out people, and when you notice the pattern, you should call it out respectfully, early, like I said yesterday. So this right here is it's moderate case, right? Some of you guys know moderate case. Very very pro-Israel, we think, right? And lately, I've noticed some things, right? This wasn't just shooting from the hip yesterday when I called him out. I didn't show you the lead up, which I will show you today, the concerns I had, right? But I'm pretty sure that this isn't going to get better, right? And if it does, I don't think we should. I think that you should always forgive. I think that you should always, you know, um, bring people back in when they say like, look, I'm sorry, this, that, and the other. That hasn't happened yet. But let's say that this goes. Let's say like Megyn Kelly, right? Should we allow somebody like Megyn Kelly back into the movement? Right? Back into the pro Israel MAGA movement after all of the, Israel derangement syndrome, Trump derangement syndrome, Candace Owens, her defense of Candace Owens after attacking Erica Kirk and TPUSA. Should we let her back in if she spends a long time apologizing and really changes her behavior? I don't know. I don't know because that's kind of like, when somebody cheats on you, do you get back with them, right? Like, I mean, do you forgive them? Is it once a cheater, always a cheater? I don't know. I don't know. That's for you to decide. I personally will not, right? You fool me once, shame on me. You fool me twice, You ain't gonna fool me again. That's the George Bush quote. Okay, so we are, in my opinion, right? Jacob, moderate case. He's cheated. He's cheating on us. He's cheating. He's a cheater. He's a cheat. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Let me make my case. Let's pick up where we left off yesterday, right? This is the video that I was breaking down at the end of yesterday's show, where Jacob is seemingly sounding a lot like a woke leftist, and you might think that this is a moderate position. It's not, right? We'll pick up where we left off yesterday, okay? It's a 3-minute video. I understand that this is going to be repetitive because I already broke this down yesterday, but I'm going to break it down again so I can show you right after, which I didn't have time to do yesterday, why I did that yesterday. Why am I going after the moderate case? Why would I do that? He's on our side. Okay, we'll break this down.
Another fatal ICE shooting, this one occurring in Maine. According to reports, the man's name is Joan Sebastian Guerrero, a 26-year-old who was married with a little daughter who was reportedly...
Okay, see how he said little daughter? That's irrelevant, right? That's making an emotional argument. It is irrelevant that the man who tried to run over an ICE officer has a little daughter. He's just trying to make you feel something for him. He's trying to humanize him. And he is a human. Nobody is disputing that.
Out leaving for work this past Monday morning.
Out leaving for work. He worked here. He had a work visa. He's not a U.S. citizen, but he was here legally, right? Why do you try to run over a cop? Okay.
The incident happened around 7 a.m. in Biddeford, Maine, and ICE was reportedly sitting on this location as they were looking for somebody who had a final removal order.
See, that's important, right? So ICE is watching this location. ICE has a legal final removal order. We have millions and millions of illegal immigrants in this country. They have killed Laken Riley, Jocelyn Ungari. They have they've committed crimes. I mean, look, illegal immigration is bad for a country. You need something like ICE, DHS, to get them out of the country. So you have ICE with a legal final removal order watching a location where they believe there is an illegal immigrant.
The video footage that I showed you is the only video footage that we have. It happened.
Irrelevant. By the way, guys, forgot to preface this. I did this yesterday, but I see a couple people in the chat didn't see this yesterday. So good. This is good. I'm not, repeating it to you. Twice in 1 week, ICE has stopped the wrong car and killed the driver. Who cares? Who cares if it's the wrong car? Twice in 1 week, no agent was wearing a body cam. Who cares? Who cares if they're wearing a body cam? Okay? There was crime prevention before body cameras existed. Okay? You don't need the video, Jacob. You can look at all the other evidence. Right? I mean, like, this is the same argument that people are making, the crazy, wacky conspiracy theories about Tyler Robinson. I haven't seen a video of Tyler Robinson shooting Charlie Kirk, so until I do, shut up. Shut up. You don't need the body camera. Is it nice to have the body camera? Sure.
Happened right before the incident, and further video footage shows them dragging him out of his car. He's limp as he was killed. He was shot in the head. One of the issues with this story is that this wasn't the person that they were looking for.
That is not an issue. There is no issue with that, right? There is no issue with the fact that he's not the person they were looking for if he is the person that tried to run them over. And all evidence points to that, including witnesses. Oh, we'll get to that. I forgot. Jacob debunks himself.
The DHS has admitted that he was the wrong guy. They actually had to walk back their statements after
admitting they thought that he was the right guy. That could just, like I said yesterday, they probably messaged something along the lines of, we were there for a legal final removal order, we thought it was the guy, but they might have, it doesn't matter. You don't have to jump to some type of nefarious, they lied, when there's other explanations, right? Did they lie? I don't know. You don't know either, though, yet you're making this whole video, which is the only purpose of this video is to frame a narrative the same way they frame the narrative on Renee Good and Alex Preddy. Like, these were just regular people doing something, and then like and they were killed, and when they're killed, it's bad. It's like, yes, obviously. Thanks, Captain Obvious. Yes, when people are shot by cops, it's bad. When they're breaking the law, they're the ones that did that to themselves.
After originally saying that they were serving an arrest warrant for this guy. This guy just happened to be driving out in the location that ICE was watching. Now, what happened after that is going to depend on who you ask. Again,
and that's the problem, Jacob. You made a whole ass video, 3 minutes long, and you said, here's a bunch of stuff that's irrelevant, and the next part is going to depend on who you ask. Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you fucking wait for the actual evidence to come out?
and because there isn't any independent, footage showing the actual shooting. The government's version is that he tried to flee and drove his car.
The government's version. Does that sound familiar? Fed slop? Anybody heard that new term? Right? Anyone heard the new term Fed slop? Creating complete distrust in the government, which is apparently working on some people. I don't trust the frickin' government. Never have, never will. I also will not create a system of distrust in the government, right? Because I believe that the government that this country created is the best one. The constitutional republic and the representative government, with the electoral college process, with the Greco-Roman antiquity inspired, Roman Republican rule of law inspired legal system, judicial system, where all men are created equal and justice is blind. Is it perfect? No. Is it the best we got? Yeah. What's your suggestion? When you create a bunch of distrust in the system that we have, you leave people with only one option. Overthrow it.
Or at an officer and the agent fired, fearing for public safety. That statement came almost 12 hours after the shooting.
This next part's important.
By the way, not going to say that necessarily means anything, but just so you know, there were basically 12 hours of silence following this. The witness...
Irrelevant. Now here's the part that matters. He says something completely irrelevant. 12 hours. They waited 12 hours to tell us. Oh, cool. I'm sorry they didn't call you first. Maybe they were dealing with the actual issue. So I don't think that they were thinking, you know what, we really got to get this out on social media immediately. 12 hours. He acts like it was a month. This is the important part. The witnesses.
Witnesses have a little bit of a different story. One witness who is on video says...
One. Starts with the one. Okay. There's a little bit of a different story here. One witness says
that the guy who was killed was trying to drive his car and hit an ICE officer.
Okay, did the other witnesses say something different?
That was what he got from witnessing it. That was his understanding of the situation. Most of the witnesses have kind of the same story.
So all of the witnesses said the same thing. What? One of the witnesses said something, and then all of the other ones said the exact same thing.
They explain a federal SUV chasing down this white Kia, and they rammed it to stop it. They say that the agents then surrounded the car with their guns out, screaming at the individual to get out. Somebody then yelled, "Weapon." The car then moved again, and the ICE agent or agents, not sure who opened fire, how many shots were fired. I believe at least 4. They opened fire after the car moved again.
Okay, so we didn't get to this part yesterday, so I am hearing the rest of this, the last minute of this, in real time. I haven't watched this, okay? Oh, I watched it, then I forgot, and now I'm playing it. So I'm just going to react in real time to the rest of this. But so far, I think I've done a pretty good job of showing you that this video is essentially dog shit.
Again, not a lot of video footage. There's a laundromat camera that caught the car rolling into the intersection after the shots, and
This whole video is just about how I want to see more. Okay.
the owner said, look, I don't think that the guy was even alive when the car was still moving. So the state police told him that he doesn't need to release it. What we don't have is a single frame of this man trying to run anyone over.
Who fucking cares? You don't have a video. Okay. What are you doing? What is the purpose of this video? We don't have a vid. Oh, I'm sorry that every moment in time is not captured on video for you, Jacob. I'm sorry. I know that that's what you want because you live in this little fucking box, right? It's not how the real world works, okay? Why didn't they have body cameras? Budget, maybe? No idea, right? Why isn't there a street? What do you want? Do you want flock cameras, Jacob? Is that what is? So is that the point? Maybe we should have cameras everywhere so we can watch everybody do everything all the time. Because if we don't, then I won't be able to make a video on the internet.
And I'm not saying that he didn't try to do that. I'm saying we don't have video of that because the agent's body cams, well, they didn't have any. This is
Who cares?
the second fatal ICE shooting in 1 week where
Who cares?
they stopped the wrong car. The
Who cares?
second one in a week with no body cams.
Who cares?
Look, all of this is complicated. And
No, it's not. No, it isn't. It's not complicated. Okay? You have a man who was they tried to stop because they had a legal order on a property that man was either at or driving through, maybe matching the description of the person they were trying to stop and deport, because we can't have just illegals running around in this country. That man, according to the witnesses, which you have admitted, said he tried to run over the ICE agents. That's not complicated. It's not complicated because he has a daughter. It's not complicated because there were no body cams. It's not complicated because it's happening often. It's not complicated at all. You have a man who tried to run over a cop or cops, and he played a game of f around and find out. It's not complicated.
And all of this sparks so much division and controversy and debate.
And do you think that you're helping by creating distrust in this because of body cams? Sparks. Bro, you're the spark. Not me. I'm the fire extinguisher. You're going to learn today. We're not done with you at all.
I want people who are illegally in our country, I want them deported. And I'm never going to apologize for saying that. That doesn't mean
That's really great of you.
that I believe the conduct of ICE in every instance is good. We
Sure. Doesn't need to be said.
don't expect perfection in this country.
Okay, then why are you making this video?
But this issue with them not having body cams
No.
is a pattern at this
No.
point. And it is an issue. And hopefully the investigation will give us some more clarity on this.
So you don't. So this whole video, this 3-minute video, is I don't know it. I don't know shit, but I want body cams. Okay, that could have been a tweet. Hey guys, I think that we should have body cams. Okay, let's have that. You added in the daughter, you added in the he was just there, you added in the we don't know, you added in the 12 hours, you added in this, and this. And none of it had anything to do with body cams. It had to do with you getting an emotional response out of your audience. That's the problem. This video wasn't about an ICE shooting. This video was about clicks.
And it might back the agent story completely. The least, the absolute least that they can do is wear body cams.
Let's ask Perplexity. Why doesn't every let's call it law enforcement officer in America have a body cam? There is no single national rule requiring universal use. Adoption is still patchwork across states and agencies. Number one answer: cost and staffing. Cameras are only part of the expense. Agencies also pay for storage, software, maintenance, redaction, time, staff time to manage footage, policy differences, privacy, and legal concerns. Not everybody wants body cams. Union and management resistance, inconsistent federal rules. Okay? There are great and very easily explainable answers and reasons why it's not a simple go buy everybody a body cam and put it on like it's a friggin' GoPro. That's why. If you want to have the conversation about body cams, we can have the conversation about body cams, right? Do not use a body cam argument to try to paint a narrative that maybe they did something wrong because I didn't see it on the internet. Now, I said I did this yesterday. I said I was going to show you why. Why am I coming after Jacob? Moderate case. Why am I coming after him? Right? He's really nice. I said it yesterday, and my tune has changed just since yesterday after discovering new information from Jacob, right? Including a response to me, right? But this isn't about me. That's not it. I mean, we'll get to that in a second. But I have very rarely been sort of proven right that fast, right? And people think when I say, I love to say I told you so, which I do, right? That means I love to be right. That's not true. I want to be wrong every time. I want to be wrong every time I say something like, hey, this is going to happen. You know why? Because I'm giving you bad news. I want to be wrong every time I say that person's flipping, every time I say that's a psyop, every time I say this, that, the other, right? I want to be wrong. I'm not, right? I'm not delivering you sunshine and rainbows news like, hey guys, we're all gonna make $1 million tomorrow, right? And then it's like, oh, Zach was right again. But I think I'm pretty sure I'm right about this one considering. But here's what I saw before. Here's the inspiration for this call out. Right? June 7th, BB wants war. That's it. That's the post, right? 298,000 views. BB wants war. No further context. What? You can't read? That's how Jacob is replying to people. You can't read? Yes, I think what he's asking for is elaboration. Right? Does BB want war? Do you think that Bibi Netanyahu wants war? Because if Bibi Netanyahu wants war, it means he wants his own people to die. I don't think he wants war. I think that the terrorists want war. I think China wants war. I think Russia wants war. I don't think Bibi Netanyahu wants war. I think that he is of the same belief that I am. We don't want war, but if it's a war you want, we'll give it to you, right? That's a different thing. Let's see. Did Jacob respond to? Okay. I'm sorry. What was it you sitting in the shelters? I'm sorry. Your leaders literally initiated the war and knew exactly what would happen in response. So Jacob is now saying that Israel started the war. October 7th didn't happen. Unless he's referring to, I mean, he's not saying Trump. So if he's not saying Trump, it's not about Operation Midnight Hammer. It's not about any of the U.S. decisions. We don't want war. No, he said your leaders, right? This person from Israel? Yep, okay, they're from Israel. Oh, you can't see it, but it says it. Right? They're from Israel. So he's saying, your leaders initiated a war. October 7th apparently didn't happen. Okay? That's one. Here's the other. Like I said, I don't randomly call people out. I don't overreact. I don't quickly react. I react when I think it's proper, right? And maybe I should react a little bit sooner, but I need to be convinced. I needed to be convinced about Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and others. I needed to be convinced. I try not to jump on. This is why I haven't gone hard at JD Vance, even though many of you have. I need to be convinced about JD Vance still. I do. I think that a lot of you are unfairly judging him sometimes. I think that there are some things to criticize. I think that's very true. I think that he's shown some behavior that's a little bit concerning. But I'm not gonna go full send on that. And if I see more things, then maybe I will. From May 20th, from Jacob. Anyone claiming Massey isn't popular or that the internet isn't real life is deeply wrong. Massey had the advantage with voters under the age of 56. Older voters simply turned out in larger numbers, and they did so here. The reality is the next generation seems far more aligned with Massey-style politicians. The next generation, he thinks, seems far more aligned with Thomas Massey, who got smoked in his own district. Okay? This is John Cornyn. He received $2 million from AIPAC and Israel donors. He lost the race to Ken Paxton. Trump endorsed Paxton. That's why he won. Trump endorsed Ed Gelrain. That's why Thomas Massey lost. So you see how he's contradicting himself? Right? This is the problem, right? Half woke is still woke. Okay? You like this whole both sides bullshit, right? That we see all the time. These people that want to be moderates, right? Moderate is just a fancy way of saying, I want both sides to like me. I want both sides to watch me. I want to audience capture both sides. You can't have both sides of a belief of a viewpoint. You can't, right? And if you do, people like me are going to call you out. He was reposting Sean Farish in May as well and saying, yeah, Massey said he would be done if he lost. Why is he running in 2028? Okay. But then still, after that, he's also still defending Massey in a couple of their posts. So look, here's the deal. It was some Massey support. It was the both sides, the flip flop. People call it flip flop. I don't know if it's flip flop. I think it's just flip. I think it's just flip. I don't think there is a flop. I think he's flipping one way, and then he's trying to pretend like he's flopping another way because he wants the audience capture. Right? Flip flopping would be like, okay, I actually, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I actually don't support it. I have flip flop. You know what? I've flip flopped on things in the past. I don't know of them off the top of my head, but I know I have. I know I have changed my opinion on things, right? I have flip flopped, right? But when I do, I don't flippity black. I learn new things and I change my opinion and then I stick with the new opinion. I don't flip flop. I don't go back and forth. I go from one position to an evolved position, right? And then it is a changed position, right? But when you flip flop, right? And that's I know I'm talking about two different things, but that's there's no such thing as flip flopping, right? You're not flipping flopping. You're faking. You're being fake. You're lying. You're grifting. You're doing something for some reason, but it's not because your opinion changed. Because you can't hold two contradicting opinions and not be a fucking liar. So, this is after yesterday, after yesterday, right? I saw this, and I was this 23 hours ago. It was literally while we were doing the show, right? While I'm calling this kid out, I wish I had seen this before because we wouldn't have had to do 2 shows about him. We could have covered this all yesterday, but you know what? Thanks, man, because yesterday was pretty much about woke shit, and here you are. Ro Khanna's detainment was illegal. Settlers have no right to stop vehicles, and the area wasn't even a restricted zone. It used to be, but currently isn't. And it was only restricted previously because of Israeli settler violence on post 10/7. I'm seeing a lot of false narratives about the situation, and as much as I dislike Ro Khanna, the facts are the facts. So I like Thomas Massey. I'm defending Ro Khanna. I'm pushing narratives about ICE and how they should wear body cams. I'm saying Bibi wants war. Are you seeing how when they stack up, when these things stack up, this might not be our friend? In fact, there is no might. He's not. Now, I'm going to work backwards because this is the first screenshot of a thread that goes all the way back to me. Okay? So we'll hit back. That he's responding to the person who just said, "Congratulations on burning your base. Who do you think you represent? Also, look up the ambassador's latest post before you delete this entire thread." Jacob, oh no, I said Israeli said. By the way, this isn't a post about Israel, by the way. This is a post about hypocrisy. All right? Look, everyone knows I don't support the Israeli government and everything they do because I don't know anything about them because I'm not Israeli. Right? I don't care. I do care about hypocrites. I do care about people in the conservative movement that are developing IDS and creating a culture of Jew hate because they care so much about a country the size of New Jersey and a government of 120 people. So I have been forced to learn quite a lot about a country that I don't care about. I care about Israel, the people. I think that the country Israel should exist, defend themselves, but I don't see it any different than the country of New Zealand or anywhere else. I don't care necessarily. I want it to be there, obviously. I am Team Israel over Team Jihad, obviously. I don't dislike Bibi, but I don't care. If Bibi got replaced tomorrow, I wouldn't go, "Oh my God, my prime minister." It's not my prime minister. I also understand that Israel is a country. Palestine is not. Right? So I don't understand how you can be a settler in your own country. In fact, you can't. We'll get to that. All right. Should I remind you the restricted zone, etc. You contribute to this. Is Iron Shade a Jew? Does anybody here see any evidence that this account is a Jew? Anyone? Is it in their bio? Right-wing progressive trying to find balance in a messy world. Location, the moon. Username, right-wing progre. American flags. Is that the best? What is that? The UN flag? I don't know what the hell that is. There's nothing that suggests to me that this person's a Jew. Yet Jacob just goes, oh shoot, hope I didn't. Okay. You contribute to the perceived stereotype of Jews can't take criticism. Why is he calling this person a Jew? You're such an embarrassment. I want nothing to do with retards like yourself. Assume you're a Jew just because you support Israel. And then say you're an embarrassment. Am I off base here? Am I the one? I don't think. So here's where I chime in. right? Because I've had enough, right? There's no such thing as Israeli settlers because Palestine isn't a country. It's all Israel, period. Jacob responds to me. The legal definition of a settler is quite literally a civilian of the occupying power residing in occupied territory in another country. You left that part out. You fucking moron. Under Israeli law itself, the West Bank administered under military occupation. The Israeli Supreme Court has repeatedly ruled on West Bank cases using the framework of belligerent occupation. If you've heard this word before, it's usually coming from a dumbass. Their own institutions agree. Even the legal defenders of the settlement project, including the 2012 Levy report, argue that the territory is disputed rather than occupied. Debunked yourself again. You know why they don't argue it's all Israel, period? Because that position has no legal basis anywhere, including Israeli law. So you want to see him getting eaten up in the comments? Here you go. Right? West Bank is a fictional name. You can't occupy your own stuff. The West Bank was never offered to Jordan. What are you talking about? Brother. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Right? This is why, if you try to sound really smart, right? If you try to sound really, really smart and use appeal to authority, and you need to have, Israeli Supreme Court and case law, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and you think you can just bomb people with information, right? That's a way that certain people debate. Like I said yesterday, I debate different. I'll destroy you, kid. Because I actually know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't just try to sound like I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, everybody, literally everyone in this comment section is basically agreeing with me. All right. So as I write, you can't occupy your own country. I don't give a F what, blah, blah, blah. Palestine is not a country. Therefore, it cannot be occupied by Israel. So, like I said before, there's no such thing as an Israeli settler. What you think you know how to do is frame dog arguments with terminology and out of context sources to make yourself sound smarter than you are. Congratulations. You just went from the next Charlie Kirk to the next Megyn Kelly. And it's going to work out for you the same way it worked out for her. Now, here is a debate I did on Timcast with Rathbone, a radical leftist who thinks that Hamas are freedom fighters, who thinks that Israel shouldn't exist and they're genocide and blah, blah, blah. Sounds a lot like Jacob. All right. Here, have fun with this one. You have working eyes and ears based off of this conversation. I think that's in the affirmative. Have you seen the videos of Hamas firing on their own civilians, right? When they get those aid trucks in. You haven't seen them?
That's
Would you
Israeli.
like to pull that up?
Israeli.
Oops.
Those are
propaganda?
Israeli forces that have done that.
No,
and
no,
again,
it's literally Hamas.
again. Even if that was true, even if it was true,
it's true.
We're talking about a belligerent occupier occupying people.
Then why are they shooting? There it is. Belligerent occupier. Belligerent occupation. Right? My follow-up question. Why are they shooting their own people? Their own citizens.
They don't get the right to say. Oh, look at them.
So is Hamas?
Look at what they're doing.
So is
they're
Hamas
engaging.
resisting against the Palestinians?
They're stealing the loot. They're looting the aid. Dude, get out of their country.
No, my point is, it's not a country just because some countries say it is. You have to go through actual steps, and you have to become an actual country. And they're not an actual country. You want them to be a country. That doesn't change anything. They are not a country. Right?
They're not a country because the world's superpower.
So you just agreed that they're not a country.
Okay, but
no. It's Gaza.
Stop blocking the aid.
I'm talking.
You
about
have
Gaza.
no.
Hold on. He just said they're not a country because of Israel. Right? Okay, they're not a country. Okay, so if they're not a country, they can't be occupied by Israel because it is Israel. And if they're not a country, Israelis can't be settlers in the country, right? And when you talk about the legal definition being an occupier of a territory, it applies to other nations. Palestine is a territory in Israel. So everyone in Palestine is technically Israeli, right? I mean, I know people don't like to hear that, but technically they are, right? They have what's their money? Their money is the shekel, right? I mean, it's like it's a territory. It's like when Texas seceded from the Union. Would you say that if you saw a Northern army in the South during the Civil War, would you say that the Northerners are settlers? No, that's stupid, right? So this argument of belligerent occupation, which it's an international law term, by the way, it's kind of dumb, right? It doesn't hold any weight.
Right. You have no right to go
not
in there
talking
and
about
tell them
Israelis.
how much food can be let in. They're a country. They're allowed to trade.
They're not a
They're
country. You
allowed.
said it earlier.
They're not a country because they're denied the rights of
But
a
you're
country.
saying they're not a
and I
country.
think that's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can make that argument, but
I
they're not a
can, and I
country.
just did.
So you can't occupy something that isn't a country.
Yes, you can. It is a country under
Israel.
international law. It's recognized as a sovereign territory, but it is under
Yeah, it's
illegal
a territory.
occupation.
It's a
It's a
territory
country
in
that is being
Israel.
deprived its rights as a country.
Yeah, but real
And
quick,
that's-
Misfit.
It's not
but
because it's not a
you-
country. Anyway, Jacob, if you'd like to have that debate, let me know. Don't think it'll work out for you. Look, I don't like doing the debates anymore. I did them for a while. I'm very good at it, right? But these people don't want a debate. These people don't want a debate. They want a show. They want to lie, and they want to trick you, and they want to trap you, and you can't do that to me. But then when they lose the debate, they'll be like, "My followers all agree with me." Okay. Facts agreed with me. History agreed with me. The truth agreed with me. You have a bunch of morons in a live chat agreeing with you. That doesn't mean you won the debate. I won the debate. I just don't have as many followers as you because I don't give a shit about audience capture like you do. Because I don't care about how popular I am. But here, this is
And before
This is a
anything,
good-
I want to take
Here.
this opportunity to debunk those myths. In particular, the myth of occupation. Because the framework of the law of occupation applies where a sovereign is ousted from its territory. Now, there is no state of Palestine. There never was a state of Palestine. There may one day be such a state, but that depends on negotiations and factors which we simply don't have the time to be able to address properly this evening. Absent any sovereign from which land could have been occupied, the notion of occupation in a legal sense simply does not have a leg to stand on. And the term occupation used in this context is purely a political term.
There you go. That's why they're saying it. That's why Jacob's saying it. That's why that argument exists, right? Now, we're done with Jacob. Here's your L. Go. And by the way, guys, look, I don't care. I liked him. I had him on the show. I complimented him. I praised him. All right. Get out of the mindset of if you are wrong about a person, it says something about you. It doesn't. What says something about you is refusing to acknowledge that you were wrong about a person, right? I really, truly had a very, very high hopes for Jacob. I messaged him privately. I saw the way he debated. I saw the way he articulated his arguments. And I go, brother, you are the next Charlie Kirk. I was wrong. It's okay. I'm okay with that. It doesn't mean that I am stupid. It doesn't mean that I have horrible discernment skills, right? It means that I didn't have all the information, right? It was an opinion. My opinions do change when I get more information. My opinion of Jacob has now changed, or moderate case, whatever you want to call him, right? It's fine, right? Now that my opinions change, I highly doubt it's going to change back, especially seeing the way that he's responding to people now, seeing the way that he's handling it. Somebody that was actually a real friend of mine. Like, I mean, real friend. Like, I've met him, hung out with him. We used to text all the time. I defended him. I got into a fight over this dude at the Turning Point thing where I slapped Bryson Gray for calling him an abomination. Right? This was a friend. I have the same exact argument for Jacob, right? Where I go, hey man, I'm done with you, right? Conservative Ant. I don't know if you guys have heard of Conservative Ant. He's, you know, a TikToker who he would do the good morning, right? He's gay. Who cares? All right. I'm not trying to freaking, you know, save his soul or anything like that, right? But he has been coming out recently, and the reason why Conservative Ant has been turning is because you see his shirt, little Patriot shirt with the Patriot hat. That's official Patriot gear, right? I used to be an ambassador for them. They're run by Ian Wendt. Ian Wendt is a rabid Jew-hating conspiracy theorist. Super fan of Candace Owens. Good friends with Ian Carroll. Good friends with Ian Smith, too, who's just a garbage human being. He's like in the Groyper side. Woke right personified. Ant was not in their belief system, but he's an ambassador. He makes a lot of money for them and for himself by promoting their products, right? When I finally called out Ian Wendt, the owner of Official Patriot Gear, and unfollowed me. He threw away our friendship like it was nothing. Didn't hear from him. Don't care. Whatever. If you think a t-shirt brand is more important than having a dude who will literally slap a guy off a bar stool for you, perfectly fine with me, right? But I never called him out because Ant wasn't doing things online that I thought needed to be called out until recently, right? Here's Ant.
And I will also tell everybody that I have been passed up on possible very successful situations for television because people at the top were like, we can't have a gay guy on a Christian network or on a Christian-based network. There's no way.
Yeah.
That's Ian, right? Freaking weird leprechaun-looking motherfucker, right? He's go look at his page. Go look at Ian Wenster. You'll see. He is, yeah. He's Candace Owens with a penis. Well, maybe she has one. You never know. Projection much, Brigitte?
It's not going to work.
Right.
And then they give it to somebody else who is your classic Christian white girl. And guess what happens? It doesn't work.
Okay, so I have a theory on why Turning Point may have been passing over on Conservative Ant for, you know, more on-camera positions. Maybe it's the guy you're talking to. Maybe it's because you're associated with Jew haters. Maybe it has nothing to do with the fact that you like dudes. Is that possible? I think it is.
When you see Candace,
Here's him saying, like, because people were like, Ian doesn't support, Conservative Ant doesn't support Candace. You said that he's a Candace supporter. There you go. Like I said, I'll do the same thing with Jacob. I don't call you out until I call you out. And if I call you out, I'm going to be able to back it up with receipts.
someone's out there and she's doing the thing, right? No, none of my followers have heard me say any of this yet, just so you know. I have not really publicly said anything about this. At first, I was like, girl, shut the fuck up. I'm sitting there and I'm like, girl, either spill the tea or don't. But don't sit here and stroke me for fucking 2 weeks.
Here's what's so funny about messages that I'm receiving as well. Keep shilling for Candace Owens, blah, blah, blah. I've never watched one single episode of her show.
Really?
For me to go from shut the fuck up, Candace, to now saying, tell me more. Tell me more, because now I want to know.
Candace really...
So he filmed this one in the green shirt after this interview where he's admitting he listens to Candace. That's the whole point.
Girl, I've never watched that bitch.
So he's a
ever.
liar. So he's
I
lying.
don't even.
I hope that if God forbid something like that were to happen to me, I hope that I have a fucking friend that will go fucking as hard as Candace is going for him.
I've never watched one single episode of her show. Girl, I've never watched that bitch ever.
Okay. Interesting.
Really?
Yeah, and none of my followers have heard me say any of this yet. So y'all haven't heard me talk about this motherfucker yet, and I'm going to on
Sorry.
a video later today. Just there's too many inconsistencies, and then there's too many cover-up people that are making excuses for it for me. So it's been so hard, dude, to like, especially you. I used to be an ambassador for Turning Point. They got rid of the ambassadorship program years ago.
Okay.
But they still invited influencers out. I've seen a full takeover of Turning Point.
Really?
Yeah, and a lot of you influencers that we've talked on the side have seen it too, because a lot of us that used to get invited for the next event, which is in December.
Okay. So look, I don't want to bore you with drama, right? I don't want to bore you with drama, right? So if that looks like drama, here's the thing. There's a point to me playing that. Okay. When you are seeing these people turn on Turning Point and Erica Kirk because of Candace and Ian Carroll and all of them, it's a psyop. I have talked about this on Woke Wednesday over and over and over again for a reason, right? Because this whole woke right new movement, right? There's a reason why it's all after Turning Point. Nick Fuentes going after Turning Point. Candace Owens going after Turning Point. Turning Point is the largest conservative get out the vote organization in America. The left killed Charlie Kirk because he was the leader of the largest conservative get out the vote organization in America. And he would go to college campuses where the young minds that the enemy is warping into this woke leftist ideology and unindoctrinating them. The woke right is there to kill him again. They're there to finish the job. Because everyone knows the woke left killed Charlie Kirk, right? Everyone except for Candace and her followers, right? That's what this is about. Ant is now the enemy. I don't recognize that guy. That's not my friend. By the way, the people in the chat, yeah, I have a gay friend. Who cares? Get over it. We've talked about this, all right? I don't support homosexuality, but I have friends that are alcoholics and shit. So stop. Just stop. All right? Fix yourself with that. The reason why they're going after Erica Kirk, the reason why they're going after Turning Point, the reason why they're trying so hard to hammer that organization and that woman is because they are terrified that they'll be able to continue the mission. That's why I support Turning Point. That's why I support Erica Kirk. Right? That is our strongest asset to save this country. And anyone attacking them, you should wonder why. Israel, same thing. Why is Israel being attacked so much? They are the strongest asset we have in the Middle East to take on the Islam problem. Right? They're the strongest ally we have as far as people who maybe aren't Christians, but support Christians. Western values. This is all by design. We've talked about the threat pyramid, where it's the new axis, right? The new axis, the new red-green alliance. It's all for a reason. And you have people like Jacob, moderate case, flipping on Israel, and you have people like conservative Ant flipping on Turning Point because it's by design. It's not about drama. It's not about me dunking on some people that are other influencers. I'm showing you a bigger issue. That's what this is about. All right, and we ran out of time, but look, right here. Why is Hunter Biden and Nick Fuentes sitting together? Wake up! All right, it's 8:59. I didn't realize I was going to do that whole episode on that whole thing. I stretched it a little too far, but it was worth it, in my opinion. I'm going to see if I can get maybe Gary on, maybe another guest on for 2A Thursday. If not, we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'm not sure what we'll talk about yet, but we will talk about 2A Thursday because it's another important issue. Your Second Amendment. Quick shout outs, and then Sean Farish is coming up with Ungoverned. All right, Deb, Paul, and P are out. Great guy Gary, Bumba, T. Mitchell, Miss Mocha Powered. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow for 2A Thursday. Peace.